Hello everyone, Amy with Campbell Creations, and today we are going to make super fun dual loop link necklace. And I said it, that's excellent. So I have made links similar to this before, but today's links have loops on both sides and really easy to make. I'm excited to show you how to make these. We're gonna put a necklace together with them, and this necklace is gonna be using contents from August 2024 Bargain Bead Box Peach Sorbet collection. So we will be using little 5mm shell beads, these super sparkly bicones, and then we're going to be using the beautiful pendant that came in the box. And I love the shade of mine, and I think this is going to be beautiful as the focal for our necklace. So before we start making these links, let's make a custom bail for this pendant. So I have here 20 gauge gold wire, and I cut this to 3 1/4 inches long. And we're going to be pulling in the 6-step bail maker for this. And for the loops, we're going to be using the 3rd step. This is going to be really easy to make, and it's similar to, it's the beginning process of making our dual loop links. So here's what we're going to do. Well, first we're going to flush cut this, because we definitely want this flush cut. So let me get that off of there. Let's look at our other side. Our other side's flush, that's good. So we are gonna pull in our 3rd step, and I want the step that I'm using to be furthest away from me. So that 3rd step is furthest away from me. I'm gonna put this in, make sure that it's flush. So I don't want the pokey coming up here, so I want to be able to feel that and know that it's flush. And I'm going to be going away from me to make this loop. So I've got my thumb here for resistance. That's where the resistance is. My pliers is just holding on to that wire, and I'm just going to pull it around until I feel that touch my thumb. And then if it ends up being off a little bit, just fix it up a little bit. There you go. And I have my loop on one end. So on the other end, I want the loop to face the same way, but before I do that, I'm gonna put on a couple of our cute shimmery little bicones. So I have 2 of those on there, and I want this loop facing away from me. So I'm gonna bring my 3rd step back up here. My 3rd step is furthest away from me. I want to make sure that I'm even, so I'm not wanting this to be sideways whenever I'm making this loop. I want it to be in the same direction that I'm about to make this loop in. I'm checking this, and then I'm just going to put my thumb on it, and I'm going to go around until I feel it hit. So we have double loop and 2 little bicones on it. This is the step where we want to make sure that we're even. So if we look at our loops this way, are they even to each other, or is one facing an odd direction from what the other one is? If it is facing differently, or if it needs to be fixed, just fix it up at this point. Okay? And then I'm going to use the same 3rd step here that's going to be pointed up towards me. So I'm going to have the step I want to use closest to me, and I'm just going to find center. So here, I'm going to get as close to where I think center is as possible. And if I'm not fully center, we have a way now that we can kind of fix that up. So it looks to be about center to me. Does it to you? Let's see. I'm just going to push these up. So I'm going to put my fingers on either side. When these bicones try to slip down, just slide them up. And we're looking to see if we are even. One is just a little bit taller than the other one. Can we see that? Let me see. There you go. One is just a little bit taller than the other. So what I'm going to do is, instead of pushing this one and this one, I'm just going to push the one that's a little bit taller a little bit more, because it's going to use up that space and even them out. So now you see they're pretty much even. Once they're even here, just finish rolling them around. So we're going to crisscross them around from each other and give a really good pinch here. Then we can pull them down. Be mindful of our bicones. Okay, and I'm going to continue pushing these down until they're close to each other. And this is what we have. So I'm going to be connecting my pendant to this center loop, and then the rest of my necklace is going to be coming off these side loops. And I didn't want too much going on here because I didn't want to take away from our pendant, but also I wanted those loops just to kind of go throughout the entire necklace, and so that's why I went for this style here. Just simple loops. So we'll go ahead and connect this, and then we will go to our next step, which are making these beautiful links. Love them. So I have made my own jump rings here, and I will link a tutorial showing how I made those jump rings. And you know, I could possibly need more than what I've made, so we may be making some together today. I'm just connecting these guys. Making sure that's secure. And as simple as that, we have our pretty little focal pendant. So now let's make some links. So I am cutting my 20 gauge wire here to about, I think we're setting at about 55 millimeters. Yes. Now when I'm doing these links, because I try them and try them and try them to get exactly what I'm looking for as far as length, it's easiest for me to use millimeters instead of just inches. It just ends up being easier for me. So it is 55 millimeters or just shy, let's see here. Here it's 2 1/4 inches. So 2 1/4 inches or about 55 millimeters. So once I cut one of these, I just line them up with the wire and cut the others. Make sure these are flush cut. Okay, you want to make sure both sides are flush. And let's make a couple links. So we'll set these guys aside that I've already made. We'll bring back in our 6th step, and we are going to be using the smallest step, so the very first step, and I want that to be away from me. So just like as we were doing when we made the pendant, I want the one that I'm using to be furthest away from me. I'm going to put this in here, make sure that I'm not feeling anything, and I'm just going to wrap it around. Again, my resistance is just on my thumb. All I'm doing here with the pliers is moving them around. So I have my loop. We're not going to be putting any bicones or anything on these. They're just going to be links. So we're going to go ahead and go to our next side, and I want this loop facing away from me. So let's come up here, make sure that we're centered. So we're going the same way here. Make sure I can't feel this guy, and I'm just going to wrap him around just like I did the other one until I'm making that second loop. So from here, we're wanting to check this. So if we look at it this way, you see it's just a little bit off, but not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and just make sure I check it. And on these, you see how this is coming out a little bit. It's not completely up against. See, on this one you can see. I want that to be closed all the way. So it seems like the first couple that I make, whenever I'm sitting down to make these, the first couple I make is off just a little bit, and it takes me just a little bit longer to get it just right. After I make a few, they fly by. So I'm doing this slow for you, and just know all of them aren't going to need to be adjusted, just probably your first couple until you get your groove. So I'm going to put these in here. I want those loops both facing directly towards me to where I'm looking down at them. I'm going to find my center, or what I think is my center here, and I'm just going to bring these up. And as I'm bringing them up, I'm looking to see if they're about even, and they look about even to me. Yep, they're about even. And at this point, I'm going to pinch and just crisscross them. So I'm just going to keep going with them. So I'm going to pinch them real good to make sure I have a pretty loop, and then I'm going to pull each side down on either side. So push and pull until they're flat. Okay, we're not going all the way down with these yet. Once these are flat, I just open up my pliers, spin this around, and close my pliers. Now, what's important at this point is that we're not applying pressure with our pliers. Our pliers are here to just hold it in place. We don't want to squeeze them, okay? But from here, I'm just using these loops as my resistance, and I'm just pushing them together. Okay, I'm going to take this off of my pliers, and you see how these are kind of wonky against each other. Well, that's because it's one of the first couple I'm making. I'm just going to fix them up. I'm going to close them up a little bit. Squeeze them together here. Not too hard like I just did. Make sure everything's closed up and prettied up. My next one will be better. And if they're not fully on top of each other, that's okay. That part's okay. But now we have our little link. So we'll set him here. I have several others made. And then let's do another one. So again, kind of the slower I'm going, because I've been making them, the tougher it is. For you, however, definitely go slow. Just going to make a little loop. After you make a few of these, they're just going to fly. I'm going to take that loop, and it's going to be faced away from me. Faced away from me. Okay. I'm going to check here to make sure I'm not feeling any pokies. And I'm just going to wrap him around until I feel him hit my thumb. So at this point, I'm going to be giving him a little look over. Are they even? Do they need to be evened up? Is one of these not sitting properly, like this one isn't, by just a hair? And if it's just a hair, a lot of times you're just fine, but I'm going to fix it up anyways. So I'm looking at my other one. He looks a little closer. So now I'm going to have whatever step I'm using, in this case is the smallest step, closest to me. I'm going to find my center, or where I think my center is, and I'm going to start pushing these up. And as I'm pushing them up, I'm being mindful of if they are even. Now, as you see this one, this side on the right is a little bit longer than the side on the left. So at this point, I'm going to stop moving that shorter one, and I'm just going to pinch the longer one, bring him into the other. So now you see they're even. Okay, so I'm going to pinch and keep this going. Pinch them real good to where they look like a little pair of scissors, don't they? And then I'm going to go ahead and pull them and push them to make them flat. I'm going to open up my pliers, swivel that around, close my pliers without pinching my pliers, and I'm just going to push them right up to each other and take them off my pliers. The pliers I'm using are Pendant 6-step. You see here, these are pretty even. These look pretty good. I'm going to give just barely a little bit of a squeeze because they're just a little bit off from each other. So I'm going to come in here, just ever so slightly of little squeeze, and now they're even. This link is done. Now one more. And then we'll start putting this together. So my smallest step is going to be away from me. Put this in here to where I'm not feeling anything. I want him to be pretty flush. I'm going to spin him around until it touches my thumb. I'm going to have that loop away from me. Put him in here, make sure I'm not feeling anything, verify that the loop is away from me, and then I'm going to spin him. We're going to take a look. Make sure we even them up. We're going to use the smallest one, so it's going to be closest to us up here up top. We're looking down at our loops. Ooh, we're getting better centered. And then we're just going to push them up. I'm going to watch them. Push the right one in a little bit more than the left for a moment. There we go, so they're even. Give a good pinch, and then pull this one down and push that one down. They're flat. Open up, spin them around. And push them up. Give them a little pulse squeeze, just a little something, something. You don't want to mar them up. Maybe a squeeze up here. Make sure these guys are even, pretty even. And that's that. Okay, so now let's put together our links. So I don't know how many, right, I'm going to be doing of these. That's why I haven't made any as well. But I know that I want my necklace to be about 18 inches, 19 inches total. Okay, so we're going to have this guy down here. We'll have these guys attached, and then these will be the entire length of our chain. So let's make up some of our links that go in the center. Since these links, I think I did, so these are 1 inch a piece. Our total is about 2 inches per, a little over, about almost 2 1/4 inches per. Okay, so I have pre-cut some 22 gauge gold wire here, and I have these right about, I think 3.5. So these are 3.5 inches. I have not flush cut these because we're going to be doing some wire wrapping with them. I'm going to make 4 more of these. I think that will be enough, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we all know this wire wrapping. I'm going to speed this up a little bit while I'm making them. You still will see the process, but that way we can save some time and we can get to the fun part and see what this necklace is going to look like. So let's put this thing together. I'm excited about this. It is going to be beautiful, and here we go. So I just put these right over my jump rings. Let's just move all of these guys over here. I have my jump rings here, and we are going to hook them all up. So whenever I was in Baltimore this week for work, I brought with me, thanks to the encouragement of our friend and our Facebook group moderator, Heather Aston. She said, you know, as much as you're traveling and as much as you miss your bead mat, maybe take a little goodie bag just of something, maybe some beads, maybe some wire, just something to where if you did have a moment to, you know, do some beading, you could, or even just to give you the peace of mind and hey, you can swish them around in your hand, you can play with them, you can do what you're wanting to do. And that absolutely was perfect for me. Actually, here is the bag I took. It says happy, and I took my wire, I took my cutters and jump rings, or I've got jump rings, my cutters and my bail making pliers, and what I did was I made these links over and over and over until I got the sizing right. Yeah, I took my ruler too, until I got the sizing what I wanted it to be, and I had my method down for making them. And it was really nice. There was, one early morning especially that I was able to get a lot of that done, and it made me feel better. I got some wire time, some kind of bead mat time, and I put together what I wanted to do for this necklace. So that was really nice, and thank you again, Heather, for always thinking of me and just being there. It's a big deal. Very big deal. So in Baltimore, I came back home with an unexpected gift: food poisoning. It was terrible. I wouldn't want anyone to go through it. I started, feeling just off Tuesday late afternoon into the evening, and we were able to go to an Orioles game while we were in Baltimore. We had got good seats for the Orioles and Nationals game, and Tuesday night was a very long night, and Wednesday I still had to work because I'm on a trip for work. I need to work. And so anyways, long day, long evening. I get home and I'm just a little bit delayed, still just a little bit recuperating, but not fun. Not what my plan was. I planned on coming home Wednesday because our flight wasn't too awful late coming home. I planned to come home and come straight to my beading mat, and instead I came home and went straight to my bed. But I'm okay. All's okay. It'll be fine. So let's see here. I just hooked those on both sides and didn't need to because I was talking to you guys. Well, I may need to take a couple of those off. I just started putting them together. I was chatting. Love. Love it, love it. The look of this necklace, that is. Isn't that beautiful? So pretty. So let's see, if I was to do one more link here, yeah, we're going to be making up more of those links here. So let's measure it after we put one more together. Beautiful. Let's see where we are with this. And this has 1, 2, 3, 4 of these links, and I have 4 left. So let's see where we are. So this is 6 to that guy, a little over 6.5. So that would be 13. How long is this? Yeah, I'll need to make just a couple more of these links. So we will do another one on this side. And then we should be good for this side. Beautiful. There's one side of it, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need to make up 2 more of those. So I do have, move this, I do have 1 here, and let's make up another one. And then I put these up, but we will need 2 of these and 4 of those. So we'll do these links together here. So I'll come down about 1 inch, 1.25 inches, flip that around, come back through and up. We're looking for 3 wraps here. It's a little bit shorter than I wanted. So there's 1, 2, 3. See how spaced those are? I don't want them spaced like that. So I'm going to just scrunch them up on both sides just a little bit. There we go. Easy fix, guys. Those kind of things are easy peasy. So many things, it seems like, oh, what did I do? Well, let's see what you did, and let's see how we can resolve it. Okay, so we'll do bicone. One of our little shell beads and a bicone. Then we'll loop up that other side. Kick that back, turn it around, come back through. And 1, 2, 3. Clip him off. We'll pinch him down. There you go. Straighten him out a little bit. He's a little wonky. Let's put it down about 1.25 inches. Open around. Kick him back. Whoop. 3 loops. Oh my, Amy. 1, 2, 3. When we're cutting, go back in where I came from. It gives me a better flush cut, just personally anyways. Squeeze him down. Bicone, one of our shells, and a bicone. Flip it around, kick him back. Very easily at this step. It may look like I'm going quick, but being very easy. All right, so let's put the rest of these guys together for the other side. Okay. So I'm home for just a few days, and then I head to Dallas Monday morning. And after Dallas, I am home for a full 2 weeks. Full 2 weeks, so 2 weeks and a couple days. And then I will go on my last trip. And then maybe we can talk about something other than traveling. I feel like I'm always talking about traveling, but it's kind of so much of my life right now. And it's definitely put complication on my timeline for when I'm wanting to, you know, get my tutorials released. But I'm not altering that timeline because I love doing this, and this is my happy time. So anyways, towards the end of September, or close, you know, a little past mid-month, my travel will be over and things will be a whole lot easier. I'll have so much more time. So pretty. So pretty. So we will need another link on the other side. So we'll do that. And then we'll connect this to our pendant. What do you say? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we need one of those on the ends for both sides. So, I have some exciting news. I am going to do official tutorials and unboxings for GGC Treasures. You guys, if you have been on this channel, you know I've talked about her a lot. I've talked about Gina, I've talked about GGC Treasures, some of the, you know, material and beads and pretties that I use come from either her bags or her website. I really like it, and she's just darling. So the August bags, I had picked the sunset bag, and it will arrive when I'm in Dallas, but as soon as I get back, I'll do the unboxing on that. And then we'll be using some of those pieces in tutorials, and I'm really excited about that. Really excited about that. And she's just really sweet. If you've never tried those treasure bags, I'll talk more about it in a different tutorial, but it's every other month, and it's not a subscription box. It's just every other month. It is you choosing if you want one of the bags or both of the bags for that month. This will be cool. I like this. But who knows? Hopefully I get it sooner. It says that it was coming Monday, and I'm really, really hoping that it ends up coming by tomorrow, Sunday, because I would love to go ahead and do that unboxing. We shall see. So we're just hooking this on. And again, I didn't want any additional embellishments on this because this necklace is really about the links and this focal, but I really wanted it to highlight the links. I wanted the links to highlight the beads to highlight the links, instead of the links just being, you know, there. They're part of this. So here we are. This is what we are looking at. That's cute. I like that. It's simple, right? But I love these links. I just love them. Let's see what our length is. So let's get this centered. And let's see where we are. So let's come down here. So we're at 6 inches to the middle of that white bead. So we're going to be kind of long. So 7, 8, 9, 10, so that's 20 inches. Let me try it on. Let's see. Oh, that's pretty. I like that. I don't want to take those links off. Nope, nope, nope. But here's where it's going to get really simple. So I am going to just jump ring the lobster clasp to it, and this is done. And we're going to work on a pair of earrings. And I'm excited about the earrings as well, because you guys know that I'm not, you know, too out there with earrings. I'm pretty easy does it with earrings. And even though it's not my style to do or have, you know, bigger, chunkier, more elaborate earrings, I really need to work on doing that more, because I'm sure you guys like that. And I'm not showing it simply because it's not what I want to personally wear. And so I'm going to change that up. Look at this beautiful necklace, my friends. Look at this. So we have our focal down here. It just goes between the links and the beads. Links, beads, links, beads. Love it. Love it, love it. Okay. So let's talk earrings now. So I've made up one of the earrings. So let me get these out. And for the earrings, we are going to use one of our links, and we are going to make a homemade chandelier. And you'll see that chandelier looks very similar to our focal, right? And then we're just going to have some dangles coming from it. So some wire wrapped loops with the crystals and little shell. and we're going to connect that on a lever back. So I really like these, and they should be pretty darn simple. What we first want to do is let's make our little bail. So the bail is essentially the same thing as what's on the necklace, just flipped around. And so we're going to be using the smallest step for this. So let's come here. We're just going to be making like we did before. So I'm going to just make a little loop here till it touches my thumb. And I look in the viewfinder and it passes my thumb. So we're just making this loop here. I'm going to have that loop facing away from me. Going to get set up here. Make sure that I don't have anything there. Make another loop. From here, I'm just wanting to make sure they're even. Kind of giving them a little look over. Make sure they're not all wonky. And then we're using the smallest step, so the smallest step will be on top. I'm going to get as close to center as I think I can. I'm going to start pushing these up, and based on where I see them going, see this one's longer, so I'm going to just be pushing it in. See how I left the other one on this side and brought the long one to the shorter one? That way they are even. We're just going to keep going around. Just some. So on the links, we take it until it's flat, right? Until it's about here flat. But for the chandeliers, we want to bring these down some more. So I'm going to pull these down until they touch the bottom. See how they're touching there? So I just pushed them down till it got to that point. Remove them from my pliers, and I have that little bail. So that part's done. So from here, we are going to connect one of our links to the top. So we have our jump rings here. Open that up, pop him on. He's going in the center. Make sure that's closed really good. Oop. I squeeze it for a little work harden, and just to make sure that it's nice and like cinched together good. And then we'll just make our dangles. See how easy that is? But it doesn't look so easy when you look at the piece. And that's my favorite kind of thing. Someone looks at it and they're like, oh wow, that looks so cool and complex. Well, it is cool and complex, but the other word that they say is complicated, or what they think is complicated, and it's actually not. Favorites, favorites, favorites. So we're just going to make a wrapped loop here. So I'm going to bring him there, kick him back, swivel around, swivel again, give him a little bit of a kickback, hold on to him really good. And these little ones, I have to use my pliers. I can't use my fingers, they slip. And it's never a tight wrap for me that way. 1, 2, 3. Come right in here. And initially I was thinking that I would just wrap these loops directly on onto the piece, right? Which I can. I can't in the center one, but I can here. But then I really wanted them to flow. And so since everything has these loops going on, I was like, I'm jump ringing them. I'm gonna go ahead and jump ring them. So we'll do the other side one. Bring him around. Kick him back. Oh, I just grabbed a hold of our necklace. You're all right, little buddy. How about that? Let's go around one. Oh wow, Amy. Two. Three. He is not the prettiest wrap loop guy. Ugh, I'm redoing him. That was the craziest thing. I went to go around and went completely sideways. Just completely sideways. So let me grab my jump rings here. I'll just get all of them out. Let's grab an extra out of here. And we'll try that again. What do you say? Let's kick him back. Same thing happened. They just all moved down. 1, 2, 3. So my hope is to get several videos done today. That coming home sick really delayed me. He's not as close as I want him to be. Fix that up. Tuck him in. Easy peasy. Now let's make our third. We will get them done, and I am so happy to. I'm excited because soon I won't have to go days on end without being at my bead mat. One, 2, 3. Then we'll just hook him right on with his friends. How did I get just the right amount of jump rings? That is awesome. Okay, so we want the small guys on either side. So let's hook him on this side. And again, I wanted more motion, and I wanted just the aspect of all of these loops to stay in play. So I'm using jump rings instead of putting them directly on there. Looks like these two guys are connected to each other. Put him on the other side. Great. And one more. This longer one is going to hook up on that center. Go from the other direction. Or not. There we go. Needed a better grip on that. I still do. That is pretty. And so this ear wire, this lever back ear wire, it just hooks right on there. So you don't have to open anything up. You can squeeze this closed, but a lot of times I don't because I use these universally. So I have them for my gold, my silver, and I learned that from Joey. And I love that idea. So I just leave it open, and that way I have all of my different components for my different earrings, and I just put what ear wire color I'm wanting on there. And this is our dangly little earring. So pretty. I love them. Okay, so we are good with this one here. Let me clean things up so that we can get a little bit better look at these guys. So here's our two earrings. And then our beautiful necklace. Beautiful necklace. So I really like these links, you guys. I hope you like them too. I really like this process. I think this was a whole lot of fun. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Any comments, I love comments. If you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, I would love if you would subscribe. And until next time, whenever we're right here on this bead mat, I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.